Wrigley Field in Chicago. It's Major League Baseball as the New York Mets meet our Chicago Cubs. Participating advertisers in this afternoon's game are light beer from Miller, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. True Value Hardware Stores. True Value, more than just a name. It's their way of doing business. Union 76 and your neighborhood Union 76 dealers who invite you to go with the spirit of 76. Canon, so advanced, Canon is the world's leader in 35mm photography. Toyota Motor Sales and your Toyota dealers who remind you that it's a good feeling to buckle up for safety. Zenith and your Zenith dealers. At Zenith, the quality goes in before the name goes on. And by United Airlines. People who fly for a living choose United. This copyright telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has the right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited.
Jack Brickhouse here, my favorite time of year. Great for beachcombing or watching the Cubbies, but we're coming into the 7th inning stretch of 1982. Almost time to hang up the mitts for another season. Time for sure to build that Danley garage. Beat winter to the punch and save big money now on Danley's custom-built 1999 special garage. 1999 including concrete, so think ahead, act ahead. Call my friends at Danley now. Just dial garages. You're dialing a winner. Dial garages now.
I've had to write some tough things about some tough guys. There's one guy I can't write anything bad about. His unique brand of baseball has made him a living legend. So have his commercials. They got me to try his favorite beer, light beer from Miller. Light's less filling and it really tastes great. So I bought this light for that renowned yet humble man, Mark Thunder.
Cheer up, Billy. One day you'll be famous just like me.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Carey back out in the center field bleachers. Joe Cornell is with us here. Arnie Harris in the truck, our executive producer director. Milo Hamilton in the booth, along with Lou Boudreau and Vince Lloyd. So the whole crew is here. We just happen to be out in the bleachers. The lineups are for the New York Mets. Wilson, Mookie Wilson in center field. Wally Backman, who's worn the Cubs out with his bat, at second. Ellis Valentine in right. Dave Kingman playing first base. George Foster in left field. Ron Hodges, the catcher. Hubie Brooks at third base. Ron Gardner-Heyer, the shortstop. And Charlie Palaio will be the pitcher. Charlie has in-laws down in, where is it, Nashville, Tennessee, I believe, that watch the game on Channel 9 all the time. There's Charlie Palaio getting ready for the Cubs as Randy Martz gets set. It'll be Sandberg leading off at third base. Kennedy, Junior Kennedy at second. Bill Buckner at first. Leon Durham in center field. Joe D. Davis, the catcher. Jay Johnstone in right field. Steve Henderson in left field. Larry Boa, the shortstop. And Randy Martz, who's won 4, lost 7, will be the pitcher. The umpires are Montague behind the plate. Marsh at first base. Wendelstedt at second. And Lanny Harris at third. The rain has delayed the game an hour, almost a full hour already. The skies are very dark. It's held the crowd down considerably. There you go. Look, that was J.R. Kennedy that you just saw. There's Gary Woods, one of the outfielders. The umpires have not made their appearances yet. This is the rubber game of the series. You know, Sunday, August the 22nd, Ernie Banks will receive the supreme tribute as a former player of the Cubs. For the first time in the history of the Chicago Cubs, a uniform number is going to be retired, and that number will be Mr. Cubs number 14. The Cubs have never retired a uniform number before. There are very few teams like that. The San Diego Padres haven't retired a number, but their history is so recent. California Angels, another case like that. Kansas City, also an expansion team. Oakland, Seattle, Texas, and Toronto. Those are all, and Montreal, all relatively new teams to the major league level. But the Chicago Cubs, that franchise has been alive forever. And yet, never have they retired the player's uniform before. But come Sunday, August the 22nd, they will. There's Scotty Thompson back in uniform. He's been ill the last few days. He had a virus, and now he's back and is available. I imagine in a very weakened condition even yet. You know, the teams that have retired players' uniforms, the Yankees and the Dodgers probably have the most. The Yankees have Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Casey Stengel, Bill Dickey, Yogi Berra, Whitey Ford, and Thurman Munson. So I guess they have more than anybody else. The Dodgers have Duke Snider, Jim Gilliam, Walt Alston, Sandy Koufax, Roy Campanella, and Jackie Robinson. The Cardinals, only 4 uniform numbers retired. Stan Musial, Dizzy Dean, Lou Brock, and Bob Gibson. Cleveland Indians have 3, and 1 you will recognize quickly. Bob Feller, Lou Boudreau, and Earl Averill. Those are 3 Indians. Only 2 from the Mets. Gil Hodges and Casey Stengel. So Casey Stengel has the distinction of having his uniform number retired in both leagues on 2 different teams with a Arnie comes up with that shot as we came down to take this place in the bleachers a little earlier. Well, I tell you, these fans out here are just absolutely marvelous. There you get a look at the sky and the skyline. The rain has delayed this game an hour. You know, the Cubs have played every game they've been scheduled to play. They have played 108. That's more games played than any other team in either league. So they have not yet had a postponement. This will give you an idea of the preparation that's needed to do a broadcast like this. There's Arnie Harris, our executive director producer, supervising the job that's being done. Bob Huberts, Roy Combs is the man to the left there who's in charge of our audio, and that takes a little bit of a trick because as we go from radio to television and back and forth, there's a matter of switching to be done, and it always takes a lot of people to conduct a broadcast, even in the normal circumstances, and being out here in the bleachers is not exactly normal. Well, a few raindrops are falling again, and I think they are going to start this game. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and
That was Michael Crouch, who sung our national anthem here before. He's appearing in one of the popular shows here. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I know my wife saw it and thought it was such an enjoyable production. All right, we're ready to play baseball. The Cubs are going to be taking the field here in a moment. There is Frank Howard walking out. He's the third base coach. Montreal leading the Phillies 5-1 at the end of 7th. Boy, it was good to see our good friend Johnny Moore, who had been ill for several months. He, of course, has been back at work for some time and looks terrific. Mookie Wilson will be leading it off. The Cubs have not yet taken the field. Boy, the skies are so gray and the flag is so limp. Humidity is 100%. And I guess it's about 80 degrees. Jack Rosenberg usually provides the weather for us, and he'll pass it along any moment now. Sue Schultz of Bensonville being greeted here. Alan Heller, Jeffrey Morris, and Louis Roy from Des Moines, Iowa are here. Cubs are taking the field. Tim McEwen and Pat Mike Gooding from Sheldon, Illinois are here. As a matter of fact, the entire recreation program group from Sheldon on hand. The Aurora Boys Baseball, sponsored by the Aurora Police, are here. There we go. That's Henderson in left field for the Cubs. Durham in center field. Johnstone will be in right. Ryan Sandberg playing third. Larry Boa, number 1, the shortstop. Junior Kennedy at second. And Bill Buckner playing first. Jody Davis behind the plate. And Randy Martz, who's won 4, lost 7, will be the pitcher. Leon Durham warming up with the left fielder Steve Henderson right in front of us here. Bud Harrelson coaching at first base and Frank Howard at third. Greetings to Dave Valley in Edwardsville. A reminder that on September the 12th, Misericordia Home North will have a family fest at their grounds. All proceeds go to the Misericordia Home North, home of mentally retarded children. That's September the 12th. Hey, I got a poem here from Leroy Heckman. I marvel at the way you men remain so optimistic when the team whose antics you depict deserve to have their fannies kicked. There have been times when I would bet you're tempted to just that yet. We are aware your hands are tied and some such thoughts must be brushed aside. First pitch of the ball game, Mookie Wilson takes it high. I'm sure if I was in your place and almost daily had to face what you two fellas have to see, I'd blow my stack eventually. Of course, as every Cub fan knows, you are a couple seasoned pros. It's second nature with you now to hold it down to holy cow. But truthfully, has there not been a lot of things that happened when you'd like to just let loose and cuss along with all the rest of us? I like that. I like that. Leroy Heckman of Rockford, Illinois sent that in. Mookie Wilson. That count, 2 balls and a strike. Wilson batting .279. .250 against the Cub pitching. The delivery. Bouncing ball. Junior Kennedy up throwing. One away. Boy, this is a great vantage point here. This is the best seat in the house. No wonder all the fans sit here all the time. Hey, Leon! Hey, Leon! Hey, Leon! One out, nobody on. Leon Durham is close enough to shake hands with. Right below us here. Backman, bunting foul down the third base line. One out, nobody on. We're in the first inning. The outfield plays Backman. The Durham shades him a step towards the left. One out, nobody on. No score. The sun trying to come out. Martz's pitch. Right in there, beauty. One man out, nobody on. Backman hitting .384 for the year against the Cubs pitching. .289 for the season against the league. Breaking ball low. Boy, you can see the pitcher's stuffed perfectly here. This might be the best seat in Wrigley Field. The pitch. There is a foul ball outside first base. We're in line with second base, right next to the section that they block off to give the hitters better background. In the front row, our MD frame people are doing double duty. The pitch just missed. Now there's Leon Durham right in front of us. Now here's where we are. Hey, Leon! Look at that, right there. Number 10. There's a number they may retire someday. High hopper, going to be a tough play. Martz! Got him! Great play! Beautiful play!
Looked like he didn't have a chance when this ball started out, but Martz just made a miraculous leap to get back. Then look at the body. He has to twist around and make the throw against the grain and get him. Randy Martz just saved himself a runner as he twists, turns, throws, and accurately to get Wally Backman. Good play.
It really was a good play, and the off-balance throw is what made it. Here's Valentine. Breaking ball for a strike. 2 men out, nobody on. Hey, Leon! 2 out, nobody on base. Ellie Valentine, the hitter. Fastball a little bit high. Joe Corneo with us here in the bleachers. Dave Kingman waiting on deck. Just a little bit low. Few raindrops continue to fall, but not enough to delay the game anymore. Foul straight back. Now there's a pitch here when that foul ball, when the bat hits the ball, for just a moment it looks like the ball's headed for center field. Instead it's going back in the other direction. Two is the count. 2 out, nobody on. Ground ball, Larry Boa throws for the out. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. And we go to the bottom of the first, no score.
Sports Mart.
Yankee Willie Randolph, he does it all. Pro photographer Fred Conrad, he catches it all with his Canon AE1 program. More advanced to capture Willie's sheer grace at second base. More camera to follow Willie all the way home.
Hey, can I try your Canon? Sure, it's simple.
In sun or shade, it's a snap to use.
Hiya, Willie.
The Canon AE1 program. So advanced, it's simple, and more of both.
Canon, the official camera of the Chicago Cubs.
Here's the defense. That's Foster for the Mets in left field. Mookie Wilson. I love that name. Mookie Wilson in center field. And Ellis Valentine, speaking of names, in right field. U.B. Brooks at third. Ron Gardenhire at short. Wally Beckman at second. Dave Kingman at first. Ron Hodges catching. Charlie Palaio is the pitcher. He's won 8, he's lost 7. There's a pitch outside to Sandberg. Joe Carneo, who worked a number of times with me at Comiskey Park when we broadcast in the center field bleachers. The pitch inside. Joe, this is so much better here. We're so much closer to everything.
It's nice and wide open space.
And boy, you really get a great angle, don't you?
Excellent.
Boy, the angle at the plate is just tremendous. There's a pitch of the high. Ball 3. Ryan Sandberg leading it off. Hitting .263 for the year. Boy, I tell you, there's a kid started with 1 out of his first 38, I think it was. I know it was nothing out of his first 20, and now here he is hitting .263. That'll give you an idea of the consistency of his hitting after a bad start. There's strike 2 call. Palaio has come down to 3-2. Palaio makes his home in Bradenton, Florida. Ball 4. And when Sandberg gets on, you think in terms of stolen bases right away.
Especially when he's in the leadoff spot and has Kennedy batting behind him. Kennedy a little more patient, take a pitch and give him a chance to steal a base. Also a grand slam, Harry, for Wallach. Wallach hit a grand slam for Montreal. They're trying to get out of Philadelphia with a win. Going to the 9th inning, the Expos lead the Phillies 9-2.
Wallach hit 2 last night. Still, the Phillies won 5-4. Each one of their first 3 victories were by 1 run. But now Montreal figured out a way to stop that by pounding out a big lead. Here's Junior Kennedy. Sandberg has swiped 21 bases, been thrown out only 5 times. He has the best percentage. Again, they throw over there. Palaio knows he might go. Palaio is 27 years old. Born in New Jersey, lives in Bradenton, Florida. Tall right-hander. Kennedy bunts. Foul. Palaio last year pitched at Tidewater where he won 12, lost 9. Earned an average 3.46. For the Mets this year, he's won 8, lost 7. Earned an average 4.14. It's still raining here, ever so lightly, but nevertheless raining. Sandberg is back. Arnie Harris just makes a reference to the fact that every promotion day the Cubs have had is rain. This was road shirt day. There's a ball, bunted. The play, first base only, sacrificed by Junior Kennedy. Kingman took the throw over there. So the Cubs have a man in scoring position with 1 out. And here's Bill Buckner. Buckner's been stopped by the Mets pitching this year, only 11 out of 56. That's a 196 average. Hitting .279 for the year. Palaio's pitch. Outside. 1 ball, no strikes. A rainy day in Chicago. Palaio's, after a squeeze of the rosin, faces the hitter. There's Ryan Sandberg. And Sandberg advances to 3rd. Boy, oh boy. What a play by Mookie Wilson.
All right, right. If Buckner pulls this ball a little, it would have been long gone, but he hit it almost to the deepest part of the park. Wilson going back. Now he'll slow up because he realizes he has time, glides under the ball. Didn't have real good control of it, so put the bare hand over to make sure. Then Sandberg will tag and come over 90 feet to third base.
You know, Buckner really getting tough luck. Now, here's a day when there isn't one breath of air. The flag is absolutely limp. Any kind of wind at all, that ball's in the center field stand. It's up to Durham now with 2 out. A runner at third. You can't hit the ball much harder than that, fans. Mookie Wilson had a great jump on the ball. With the weather right into the ivy, Milo.
With the weather threat, you'd like to get a run here. You never know when you get another chance.
Foul back. You know, Durham in the batting chase. He is tied for third in the batting race, hitting .308. Al Oliver leads the league with .322. 2 men are out. Runner at third base. Outside. Boy, we had a great look at that catch by Mookie Wilson right here to our left. He wasn't too positive that he had that ball. High pop fly in the infield. That'll be easy. Gardenhire has it, so the Cubs fail to score. No runs, no hits. No errors, and 1 left. At the end of 1 inning, no score. You can see where we are there, and that's Bruce Moselle in our center field camera. He's got his own little hut up there. Here's Dave Kingman, and look where Leon Durham is playing. Right below us here in center field. That's how deep they play Kingman. See where Leon Durham is in relation to the center field wall? Dave Kingman with 26 homers. There's a strike call. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the second, no score. A rubber game of the series. Next weekend, the Cubs play the Mets 5 games in New York. There's a fastball low. The rain has stopped now. And the skies are lighting up a little bit. Or else Bruce Moselle on the center field camera just put a lighter color in his bulb or something in the machine. There's this out of the center field camera right there. Kerr, wasn't that a beauty? 2 balls, 2 strikes. The delivery. Bouncing foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Miss Andy Frayne has just come in.
There he looks like he's got to see here.
The pitch. Fouled it off. Martz was jamming him with a high, tight fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Randy Martz trying for his 5th victory of the year. Miss with a breaking ball. Three and 2 on Dave Kingman. Here's the big pitch. Swung. Sandberg has it. Long throw for the out. 4 in a row, retired by Mark.
Barry, they're getting ready to go on the coast. Minnesota, California. O'Connor for the Twins and Luis Tiant for the Angels.
How about that?
The old side twister.
He's older than we are.
At least.
1 out, nobody on. Here's George Foster. 11 homers, 46 RBIs, hitting .264. Randy Martz getting ready. Fastball low. The most victories that Martz has ever had in the big leagues was 5. Last year he was 5-7. He's trying to improve on that. Most games he ever won anywhere in professional baseball was 8. He won 8 at Wichita 2 years in a row and 8 at Midland.
By the way, he pitched back in May. You thought he was going to be by that easily.
Yeah, it certainly did. Now the pitch to Foster. Low and outside. 2 balls. Goes to 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes. And they may turn Foster loose on the 3-0 count. They did, but it was high. He was ready to swing. That's the first base runner with 1 out. And here's Ron Hodges, the catcher, hitting .255. 4 homers, 14 runs batted in. Hodges is 3 out of 6 against the pitching of the Cubs. Now that's 500. Out of Rocky Mount, Virginia. He's been with the Mets since 1973, so he's been around a while. 1 on, 1 out. A rainy day in Chicago. The game delayed an hour in its beginning. Fastball outside. 1 ball, no strike. QB Brooks on deck. The sun trying to fight its way from behind the cloud. Thank you.
Ice cold one, buddy.
There's a strike at the knee. You can't beat fun at the old ballpark.
Oh, Harry. Stay away to the 7th inning.
Pat Zachary limbering up in the bullpen for the Mets. 1 out, 1 on. No score. 2nd inning. Boy, this is a beautiful ballpark. When you're out here looking from the other direction, there's a base hit. In the center field, there goes a runner on second. Trying for third, the throw. Safe, and on the throw, Hodges goes to second. Hodges singles to center. Foster going to third, and on the play, Hodges advances.
Now, here was a case I think Leon had it to do over again. He'd bring the ball into the middle of the diamond because he really didn't have a shot here, and that throw over enabled the man who put the ball in play, Hodges, to take an extra base, so now they've got 2 runners in scoring position.
And at second and third, it'll be interesting to see how they elect to play it here. Most managers hate to give an intentional pass in the early innings, looking for a double play. There's Marla Collins. She looks as good from way out here as she does up there. She's the ball girl. There she is, Miss Baseball. All right, here is QB Brooks. The infield playing back. 1 out, runners at second and third. Now here's where Martz could use a pop-up or a strikeout. There's the curve a little bit outside. 1 man out, runners second and third. No score. The pitch. Oh, boy, he went fishing for that one. 2 more like that, and Martz would have a chance to pitch his way out of trouble. Ron Gardenhire, the shortstop, due next. There's a long drive. Johnstone grabs it. Both runners advance 1-0 in favor of the Mets. QB Brooks lines to Johnstone, a sacrifice fly. And both men advance. Boy, he went right with him.
Yes, he did. And he got it deep enough not only to score the run, but to get Hodges over to third. Johnstone will grab it. Has no play anywhere. Just get it back in as Foster, who walked after one out, scores.
So it's 1-0 in favor of the Mets. And here's Gardenhire, batting only .238 against the league. But what do you think he's hitting against the Cubs? .438. Right-hand batter. Breaking ball low. 1 ball, no strikes. One to nothing Mets. Sharten up as if to bunt. The skies have lightened up considerably. And it looks like the threat of further rain is rapidly disappearing. The pitch. There's a line drive coming over. Henderson makes the catch. Boy, that ball was hit right on the nose, but out. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors, 1 left. We go in the bottom of the second. Mets 1, Cubs nothing.
My American friends introduced me to my favorite beer, light beer from Miller. Now I'm introducing them to my favorite food. With nachos, the best thing about light is it tastes great.
Not bad.
With enchiladas, the best thing is it's got a third less calories than the regular beer. With burritos, the best thing is it's less filling.
Carlos, what's this?
And with jalapeno peppers, the best thing about light is it's cold.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Caray and Milo Hamilton back at Wrigley Field, where the Mets have jumped into the lead 1-0. Jody Davis will lead it off. Jody Davis. Jody hitting .245 with 7 homers, 29 runs batted in. Palaio's pitch, breaking ball low. Pat Zachary continues to work in the bullpen for the Mets. Probably just getting a workout. There's a good fastball. The count evens up, a ball and a strike. Harry Wendelstedt umpiring at second base. He's out in short center at the moment. Harry has a great umpiring school in Ormond Beach, Florida. There's a smash. Fair ball. Jody Davis racing for second. He'll make it easily. Jody Davis. The biggest bat in the West.
Oh, boy, he kind of tied him up inside, but Jody fought it off. The pitch was up and in, and just strong-armed it down the left side, and he'll stand in there easily with a double.
Here's Jay Johnstone now, the tying run at second base.
It's over at Philadelphia. Montreal banged out 18 hits and beat the Phillies 9-2.
There you see George Bamberger, the manager of the Mets. Milo, you said they banged out 18 hits.
Yeah, 18 for Montreal, scored 9 runs. Phillies had 2 runs on 8 hits.
So they salvaged the final game after the Phillies won the first 3.
Oh, they needed that one. And those Phillies will be in here tomorrow.
The Phillies lead over Montreal now is 6. Cardinals can move to within 2. They play later. 3 balls, no strikes on Jay Johnstone. Jody Davis, the runner at second base. Steve Henderson due next. Hey, walked in. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. Now let's see what Steve Henderson's going to do here. Henderson batting against his old teammates. He's hit .333 against them this year. Had a pinch double yesterday. Comes up with runners first and second, nobody out. And let's see how they elect to go here. Whether they sacrifice or hit away. Henderson takes a lot of time getting into the batter's box. Larry Bow on deck. Fastball high and inside. And Ron Hodges came out of the chute ready to throw. And I'm sorry, our good friend Bill Beck isn't out here today. Bill's daughter, Lisa's having a birthday. Look out. Jody Davis got back. We'll be out here one day when Bill's here. Snap throw. Faked by the catcher, Hodges. Pitch was high again, ball 2.
That's going to bring Bill Monboquette, the pitching coach, out.
Bill Monboquette, who once pitched a no-hit, no-run game.
Right in this town.
He was then with the Red Sox pitching against the White Sox.
And he beat Early Wynn on a night that Early Wynn was going for his 300th victory.
As a matter of fact, it seemed Milo Early was going to have some tough time getting that 300th win, but he finally got it.
Well, he got it the next year. As a member of the Cleveland Indians, he got it in Kansas City.
Runners at first and second. 2 balls, no strikes to count. Steve Henderson, the batter. He bunted foul. 2 balls and a strike. You're watching Chicago Cubs baseball through WGN Channel 9, Chicago. We got to do this more often. This is a great seat out there, boy. Just think if the sun was shining, Joe, we could strip to the waist and get a great tan.
Have you ever seen Joe Corneo strip to the waist?
Oh, yeah. Look out!
Ooh, a good throw. That ball hit Jody.
He might be hurt there. He is really hurt. Boy, they'd have had him if the throw hadn't hit Jody.
We'll get another look. Now, here's his whirl. If the throw had been right down there, hit him in the head.
Ooh, boy.
Might be blocked there.
He's on his knees now. And Tony Garofalo is giving him some smelling salts. Tony being the Cub trainer.
Tony doesn't use smelling salts, Harry. He just uses some of that seasoning Mama uses for that spaghetti.
That smells like salt. Well, he's on his knees, so apparently...
Tony knows he's all right. He held up 4 fingers and says how many. Jody said 2 and says that's what you always say, so you're all right.
Boy, that could have been disastrous, you know.
Brother.
Some base runners carry the protective helmet on the base paths, too, and some don't. I don't know. I would imagine that Jody didn't have one on.
No, I think he did.
Good, then that probably saved him more serious hurt.
Lee Elia right there, looking him in the eye, wanting some honest answers.
Yeah, he had the helmet on, all right. see now. Jody's going to leave the game.
I don't think they don't. I just don't think they want to take a chance with any kind of a head injury, Harry.
As a precautionary measure, he's leaving the game. Milo, I want to read this poem again from Mr. Heckman because it's directed to us. I marvel at the way you men remain so optimistic when the team whose antics you depict deserve to have their fannies kicked. There have been times when I would bet you're tempted to just that yet. We are aware your hands are tied and such thoughts must be brushed aside. I'm sure if I was in your place and almost daily had to face what you two fellows have to see, I'd blow my stack eventually. Of course, as every Cub fan knows, you are a couple seasoned pros. It's second nature with you now to hold it down to holy cow. But truthfully, has there not been a lot of things that happen when you'd like to just let loose and cuss along with all the rest of us? All right, Mr. Heckman, very good. All right, swung on, line drive foul. Steve Henderson, I had on the count 2 balls and a strike. They took the sacrifice sign off. He hit the ball hard, but foul. Keith Moreland is running for Jody Davis and will replace him behind the plate. Runners at first and second and nobody out. There's a looper foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. We're in the second inning. Boy, the sun persistently trying to come out from behind the cloud. And I think it's beginning to win a tough fight, Ma.
Beautiful day for a ball game.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Whoa, 3 inside.
No, they asked for an appeal.
Oh, they called it strike 3 on the appeal. And that's a big out for the Mets. Henderson arguing about it. It was Randy Marsh who called it the strike, the first base umpire.
All right, let's take a look. Got to decide if he came on around.
Boy, it looked like he stopped his swing from here.
Sure did. You could just see him straining with those wrists, pulling that bat back.
Boy, that hurt.
Does it ever?
Now Boa pitches outside. I don't blame Henderson for complaining about that one. He did not break his wrist. Here's a plate umpire, Ed Montague now.
Yeah, our bench has got to be huffing and puffing over that call. Elias showing him how he brought those hands back.
He is furious about it, and you can't blame him.
You got to be careful with Montague. He'll make you disappear.
Not only with Montague, it begins to look as if every National League umpire. You open your mouth, you're out of the game.
Yep.
George Bamberger was complaining about that, too.
President of the league complained about it.
Well, I think he gets jurisprudence over the Bamberger even. A ball and a strike. Hey, Milo, we have better conversation when we're this far apart, you know? There's the pitch. Into the dirt. Good save in there by the catcher, Ron Hodges. Mookie Wilson right in front of us. Lead is still furious. Boy, that was a big play. It would have been 3-2. Nobody out. Ball high. Now, Randy Martz is a pretty good hitting pitcher. He'll be up there next.
Helped himself to a win once this year with a bases-loaded double. Drove in 3.
He's hitting .250 with 5 out of 20 and 6 RBIs. 3 balls and a strike. The game is tied.
And Foster does us a favor here. There's a solid line drive. Now Foster will come over. He doesn't have a shot here. He just whirls. You almost can't tell where his target is. But wherever it is, it allows Johnstone not only to get to third, but Boa to get into second. Now watch him turn. We've run on him in this series already in the first game. He didn't really have a play on Moreland. And that allows another runner to get up into second, Boa. So you got a chance to get the lead here.
Boy, I tell you, I'm glad he didn't throw to third. He would have had Johnstone. But instead, he threw towards the plate. As Randy Martz fouling the pitch off. 1-1 tie now in the second inning. Jody Davis started the inning with a double. Left the game when he was hit in the head with a throw, trying to pick him off from the pitcher, Palaio. Keith Moreland ran for him and has just scored the tying run. Pitch out. I wonder what that pitch out was for. Squeeze?
I'm looking for with the pitcher up there. Maybe thought they were going to squeeze.
It's seldom that only certain pitchers you can squeeze with, because that takes an art of being able to bunt. Outside. 2 balls and a strike. One of the reasons why more squeeze plays aren't put on, it takes a knack on the part of the hitter and also on the part of the runner at third. If he gives away the play by starting too soon, that ruins it. Strike call. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Randy Martz. Crowd is really on the umpiring crew. Mookie Wilson wears a number 1, we just noticed. 2-2 pitch. Into the dirt.
Good save.
Almost threw it away.
Hodges did a heck of a job on that ball. Just put the ball in play, Randy.
Infield in. 3-2 pitch. Ball! The bases are loaded. The bases are loaded with only 1 out. And here's Sandberg. Sandberg walked his first time, hitting .263.
George Bamberger doing a little pacing. He's not happy with this Met club the last month.
There's a right-hander.
Ed Lynch.
Ed Lynch.
Ed Leach yesterday, Lynch today.
Terry Leach and Ed Leach. Here's Sandberg. Infield playing back for the double play. Ooh, he takes a good pitch. Fastball at the knee. 1-1 tie, bases loaded, 1 out. All the kids out here with gloves ready to catch a home run. Double play ball, they're going to throw to the plate for 1 out over to first. Not in time, I can't understand that play. Perfectly hit double play ball to the third baseman, Hubie Brooks. He decided to go by way of the plate.
Or if he goes second to first, because it was hit so sharply. Now Hodges doesn't have a play at first.
Well, he might have done us a favor there, and the Cubs lead.
Johnstone turned Hodges around a little bit.
All right, a run batted in for Sandberg. Here's Kennedy fouling the first pitch off. But, you know, Brooks was in position. He was moving towards second, too.
And the ball was hit so sharply.
Fouled outside first base. Cubs are leading 2-1. We're in the second inning. 1-1 rather. Game all tied up 1-1. We haven't scored the run yet that would put us ahead. They showed me Johnstone sliding in the plate so much I thought he was safe. 1-1 tie. We're fortunate. Keep the inning going. Little high and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Larry Boa, the runner at third, Martz at second. Sandberg at first. High ball 3.
All right, Junior, take a look.
The old merry-go-round now. Everybody will be running. 3-2 on the hitter, 2 out, bases loaded. 1-1 tie. There goes everybody. Fouled it off.
Little note on Sparky Lyle in that Philadelphia game, Harry. He was taken to a hospital in Philly after being hit on the thumb by a line drive today. And here's a note further on that game. Youngblood went 3 for 5 and drove in 3 as Montreal pounded Philly 9-2.
So he has paid a dividend early. He had a hit and drove in a run last night, too. 3-2. Everybody will be going with the pitch. There they go, and here it is. Swung, and he fouled it again. So Palaio keeps throwing strikes, and Junior Kennedy keeps fouling him up. 1-1 tie. Bases loaded, 2 out. Swinging. The Cubs got only 1 run out of all out, 2 hits, no errors, 3 left. At the end of 2, the ball game is tied up 1-1. Buddy Harrelson, watch it faking. That's a Max Patkin trick. He's mimicking Bill Buckner. Watch him now. Look at that. He's got it down pat, hasn't he? Perfect timing. Look at that. Harrelson used to, well, he was a spark plug shortstop on the Mets when they won a couple of championships. Look at that.
I don't think Buckner has any idea what's going on, does he?
I don't think he knows that he's doing it. 1-1 tie.
And Moreland, who is going to catch now, will have a little conference with Martz before they work to the first man. That'll be the pitcher, Palaio.
As soon as we get a report on Jody Davis, I'm sure he's all right. It was just a precautionary measure. Milo and Arnie will pass it along. Leading it off.
No, now what?
A bouncing ball. Nice play by Sandberg.
Yeah.
He is out. A group of 8 diehard Cub fans from the cool city of Two Rivers, Wisconsin. The Wayner family here today. Here with a big group of children. 1 out, nobody on. There's Mookie Wilson. William Hayward Wilson. Mookie is the nickname. fine young ball player.
It's what happens when you can't say milk when you're a child. That's where it came from. He used to say mook. So Grandma says, all right, you're mookie. Chuck Swirsky just called. Said that Tim Raines got 5 hits in that game for Montreal. Stole a couple bases, now has 48.
Now the delivery, here it is. Hot smash, Kennedy. Throws him out. 2 up, 2 down. Raines has now taken over the National League lead in stolen bases with 51. There's a high pop fly. Boa chasing it near the tarpaulin cylinder. Makes the cut. Good play. Larry Boa covered a lot of ground on that one. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. Watch it again as we go out. Going to the bottom of the third. There you see it. Score tied 1-1.
I was known as one of the meanest players in hockey, but I didn't deserve that, right? I'm just a nice guy who comes in and has a few light beers from Miller with the boys. If Pussycat, who drinks light, because it's less filling, and it tastes great. Really, I was a nasty player. May a lightning bolt come down and strike this very spot.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
T-shirt day number 2 coming up Wednesday, August 18th. The first 6,000 youngsters age 13 and under will receive a free Cubs T-shirt, compliments of Toyota.
Correction on the stolen base leadership. Raines has tied Marino, each with 48 stolen bases now. Just to appreciate what Ricky Henderson of the Oakland A's is doing. Now, you know Marino and Raines are 2 great base stealers. They're tied for the National League lead with 48. Do you know that Ricky Henderson of the Oakland A's has already stolen 103, or more than twice as many?
Hey, Bill!
Here's Bill Buckner. Base hit to right field. Buckner singles to right. Buckner hit the ball a mile his first time, only to have Mookie Wilson go into the ivy and grab it. Here's Leon Durham. Leon Durham, a popular favorite with the fans, as you could tell when we were interviewing some of the people here in the bleachers. There's a strikeout. Durham, a tough left-hand hitter with great running speed. Now the first baseman comes over, Kingman.
That's real grass, Mookie.
Durham, just 25 years old. Boy, what a great future he has. Buckner back. Buckner has swiped 12 bases in only 15 tries. Again he dives back.
Kingman keeps walking in there for. It looks like he's expected every throw. Pretty good lead here.
Pitch out, not going anywhere.
I just thought so too, Harry.
And the count evens up with a ball and a strike. Go ahead, run at first base, nobody out. Leon Durham, the hitter. We're in the bottom of the third. The game delayed an hour by rain.
Nice and comfortable, 68 degrees at the ballpark.
Durham backs out of the box as Buckner dives back into first base. Well, we were looking forward to appearing with Bob Collins down at the Chicago Fest, but because of the lateness of the game, that's called off for us. Chicago Fest is still going on, of course, but Bob Collins is off the air at 6, so won't be able to be there with him.
Kingman just saved Puleo a throwing error. Good scoop of a throw into the dirt.
I was afraid Puleo was going to hit Buckner on the head with it.
That may be their new strategy.
They got one of our players out that way. Runner at first. Nobody out. Look out. He's back. Charlie Puleo. Tall, slim right-hander. Leon Durham waiting. High. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Now here's where they might start him.
He won't pitch out here. This is a good one to go on. Or at least put something on with Durham.
2 balls and a strike. Nobody out. Ball 3 low and away. Threw him a breaking ball that time. Richie Zesk hitting streak ended to 21 games in a row last night. One pitch. There goes the runner. Swung on, long drive, left field. Foster makes the catch, and Buckner will return. Durham hit that ball hard, but to the opposite field, and Foster hauled it in. Here's Moreland batting for the first time, hitting .266, 12 homers, 53 RBI. He's 1 out of 6 in this series. There's a pitch a little bit low. Moreland has really hit well against the Mets. 12 out of 27 with 2 homers, 7 RBIs. That was early in the season when he did most of that hitting. Buckner back. 1 out, 1 on, tied up 1-1. Rubber game of the series. A rainy day in Chicago. Pulled it foul. Jay Johnstone on deck. Moreland. Jody Davis doubled in his only time at bat, then left the game. Breaking ball high and inside. 2 balls and a strike. Puleo really struggling. Making a lot of pitches. Again, they throw over there. Buckner, who has swiped 12 bases this year. Cubs as a team have stolen 95. The opposition against them has stolen 106. Boy, the Mets yesterday really put on an exhibition of base stealing. They swiped 6 bases against the Cubs. Keith Moreland with a count of 2 balls and a strike from Dallas, Texas. There's a high pop fly. Kingman is there. Makes the catch. Moreland fouls to Kingman. 2 gone. Here's Jay Johnstone. Buckner's first time at bat. The outfield playing Johnstone straight away and deep in every field. Fastball high. 1 ball, no strikes. Ed Lynch warming up in the bullpen for the Mets. The sun trying to break through the clouds. Run about.
Don't buy it. It's true. You know, they think better that way. Hey, hot dog.
Curve high and outside. 2 balls, no strike. 2 men out, a runner at first. Johnstone batting .248 for the season with 5 homers. Foul back into the stand. We should have brought our net out here. We might catch a home run. Two men are out. A leadoff single by Buckner has not materialized into anything as yet. But the inning is still going. Swung and missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 out. Paleo pitching laboriously, but effectively. Again, they throw over there. And Buckner is back. Buckner's uniform all dirtied up. There goes a runner. The pitch is fouled off to the third base side. Johnstone, let's see the kind of a swing he had at that. Wasn't much of a swing.
Looked like he was just trying to spoil it.
That hand is for the ball girl, Marla Collins, bringing a new supply of baseballs out. Two men are out. A runner at first base. And Buckner dives back in. Oh, that sun is starting to come out, and boy, it's going to be boiling hot. Runner back.
You're really concerned about Buckner.
This inning is taken for about forever. There's a long drive way back. Might be. It's hit it! Holy cow! He worried so much about Buckner, he forgot about Jay Johnstone. Slam that ball, a line drive into the right center field stand. True Value Hardware makes a $100 donation to Cubs Care for that home run. Every time a Cubs player hits a home run, True Value Hardware stores donate $100 to Cubs Care, providing special facilities and personnel for the care of patients with cancer. So Ed Langto and Dan Cotter probably making out the check together. A line drive into the right center field stand. And the Cubs are leading 3-1. For Johnstone, his 6th homer of the year. Watch his swing here. Boom.
Well, I tell you, he really had to get it around because that pitch was away, and he pulled it Got it into right center. Broke a little dry spell for himself. First home run hit since St. Louis on the 25th of June.
Here's Henderson, an easy fly ball to Foster. Well, it was 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. Lou Boudreau will be joining Milo in a moment. This is Harry Caray out in the center field bleachers. The score at the end of 3, the Cubs 3, the Mets 1.
We go to the 4th inning. With Lou Boudreau, I'm Milo Hamilton as we take you through the middle here now. Nice home run by Jay Johnstone has broken us out of the tie. And Randy Martz will be looking at Valentine, Kingman, and Foster. And in just a second here when we have time, we'll update it on Jody Davis for that injury. They've just passed along the latest. Valentine in the 1st inning bounced to short. Martz has given up 1 hit. That was in the 2nd inning to Hodges. Brooks sacrifice fly, got a run home for them. So the latest is, Lou.
Well, they've taken Jody to the hospital for x-rays, this precautionary measure.
The ball just dropped enough under that helmet to hit the right ear a little bit, didn't it?
Just behind the right ear. So they're going to take some x-rays and hopefully that Jody will be all right.
You betcha. Valentine with the ball and a strike. Cubs have out hit him 4-1, leading the score 3-1, trying to take this series. Pop foul, back to the right, out of play. 1-2 to Valentine. Kingman will be next, then Foster. Jerry Jurgens up here again. Boy, since you went out there to see him at that Old Timers game, he's driving in here every week.
He's a good Cub fan.
Got Fred Hunt and Forty Kilmer from the Quad City Times. Big group from Davenport up today. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And speaking of that club out there, they're out in front. And they got some pitching last night from a reliever by the name of Boudreau that must have been outstanding. Smash down the left side. It's a foul ball. Almost 6 innings for the lefty.
Yeah, he did quite well. At 5 1/3 innings. Kept them in the ball game, and they win it in the 12th.
Valentine taking a little time to get back up in there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Valentine as he leads it off in the 4th inning. All right, let's see how Martz handles the payoff. Oh, and excuse me, really crowded him and tied him up. Got a break right there, Lou.
Yes, that's the way, tying inside, and as Valentine turned away from the pitch, the ball hit the bat and went very nicely right back to Martz.
Kingman bounced to 3rd the first time up. So Randy Martz working with a 2-run lead as he pitches in the 4th. Kingman did not play yesterday, went 0 for 4 in the opening game. Big breaking pitch down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Foster has moved on deck off to the right side. Phillies will be in here tomorrow. They took a little lacing today. Montreal, you just figured that club was going to break loose sometime, and they did today.
Yes, they did. And Youngblood got 3 for 5 today. 3 RBIs and 1 stolen base, helping his new ball club to a victory.
All right, you're talking about your son last night pitching. I got mine here helping today. Son Mark up from Atlanta.
Very nice.
Keeping me honest, getting all those good stats here for us. 2 balls and a strike. Kingman batting with nobody on in front of him and 1 away. A high drive to left center. And Durham waits for it to come down. And he and Henderson going to talk it over. There was a major league fly ball.
Durham's looking at Henderson and said, "Where have you been? I had to come clear from center field. Come over there." He's looking for Henderson to make the catch. Henderson is against the wall saying, "Go get it, Durham." Henderson's just resting. Watch Durham take a look at Henderson saying, "Hey, that's in your territory."
What is this, your lunch break? And knowing Hindu, he's probably saying, well, you big center fielders, you want to take everything you can get, take it. Smash toward the hole. Ball is there, and Foster's going to be out. An easy inning, 3 up and 3 down. The last 8 in a row have been retired by Randy Martz. So we played it into the middle of the 4th, and the Cubs have a 2-run lead. The Cubs with a lead. And that fella next to me right there with the glasses and the gray hair or two, and might have earned him along the way, Kenny Baldwin, an old friend of, well, I guess almost 30 years, retired the other day after 51 years in the sporting goods business. I guess he has seen some leather helmets disappear and some innovations. A good friend of both of ours, Elmer Blasco from the Athletic Journal, brought him over today to see a ball game. And Kenny, we want to wish you all the best and a lot of good golfing in that retirement. As Boa bounces out here, he drove in a run in the first inning. Well, I tell you, Boudreaux, you draw these Illini in here.
You know he's going to enjoy his retirement. He earns it, I'll tell you that.
51 years. Can you imagine the changes in track and field and in baseball and football that he saw in a half a century take place? I remember when he was with Rawlings, he was with the National Sporting Good Dealers Association the last several years, and I know a lot of his friends around the country wish him well. He was a very popular man in his field. Got a lot of friends, Kenny. Enjoy that retirement.
Thank you.
2 balls and a strike.
He loves to swing that bat, doesn't he?
You said you. There goes Jody Davis to the hospital. They're going to check precautionary x-rays. In case you're just joining us, in the second inning, Jody led off with a double. And when he was at second, they put on the pickoff play with the pitcher. And when he threw the ball, it went right back into him. Now, as luck would have it, the ear flap, he's a right-hand batter. If he'd have been a left-hand batter, the ball would have bounced off the flap, right?
This is right.
But it went right down below the flap, so you saw him there just getting ready to go over to Northwestern Memorial. Let's hope for just precautionary x-rays. But on a day like today, the heat and the humidity, you just can't take a chance. He's complained of some dizziness. And the minute he got up and started to walk out, I said, they're not going to take a chance with any kind of a head injury.
No, it was a low throw to second base, and Jody was diving back to the base. It just so happened that the ball hadn't thrown very hard. Hit him right beyond the helmet, right behind the ear.
Sandberg has walked and been safe on a fielder's choice. He's 5 for 10 in the series with a run batted in. Cubs are playing in their 109th game of the year. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bouncer third. Matter of turning that one. Boy, he hit that sharply, and it is a double play. And the Mets have come up with their 85th double play of the year. So around the horn they go. Brooks to Bachman on to Kingman.
Bachman was a little late getting to second base. Almost cost him the play at first base because of the speed of Sandberg. Here's the throw from the third baseman. You see, he's about 2 strides late getting there. And Sandberg making that play very close.
All right. Nobody left with a double play. We played 4. And the Cubs trying to take this series are out in front in this game by the score of 3-1. To the 5th now as the Cubs are out in front 3-1. Tie was broken in the 3rd inning with Jay Johnstone. Hit a pitch into the right center field seats. And the Cubs, after the long rain delay before we ever got a pitch thrown in this ball game, have come out smoking here. And Randy Martz trying to win his first game in a long time.
And I'm glad to see that Johnstone's bat is alive. Since June, And he really
Last 10
hit
days or so, he wasn't really popping it, was he?
No, he wasn't. Now he's starting to pop it, and it's due to extra work, extra hitting.
This is Hodges, who has the only New York hit. Got a single in the second after Foster had walked. Randy Martz. Now, you remember, he was out with arm trouble. He appears to be throwing free and easy.
Yes, he does, and plus the fact that he's staying out in front of the hitters. There's only been 2 hitters that he's had to pitch from behind in the count.
Line to center, and the Bull will take a peek right at it. He got right down where he could take the good look coming out of some of those shirts up behind home plate, huh?
Sometimes it's very difficult when that ball gets into white shirts in the background and double deck here.
Hubie Brooks, who hit a fly ball deep enough into right in the second inning to get Foster home. At that time, it put them in front 1-0. Hit him on the fist, but he's going to get it out there to Durham, and it's 2 away. Brooks got a little strength. That ball really was in on it.
Yes, it was. And once again, Martz throwing strikes, making the Mets hit the ball.
Bring up shortstop Ron Gardenhire, who was injured here in the first game. You'll remember when he went out to catch a pop-up in shallow left, and Foster coming on hard just couldn't avert, just barely kicked him in the head a little bit, but that was the same way they took him out of the game. Then he was back in yesterday briefly and started again today. Ball 1 and no strikes. The Phillies will be here for the weekend. Mentioning about Lou's son Jim pitching so well for Quad Cities last night, they got a pretty good lead. There's a high fly ball to right. Johnstone should make it look easy, and he does. 3 up and 3 down. 3, 6, 9, 11 in a row since the single by Hodges in the second inning. So we played halfway through this one, middle of the 5th, and after 4 1/2, the Cubs 3 runs, 5 hits. The Mets 1 run with only 1 hit. Stepping in. Then it'll be Buckner and Durham. Also, in talking about those minor leaguers, what about that Iowa team? They continue to stay right up there, Lou.
Yes.
Some names that you remember: Joe Strain, Scotty Fletcher, Butch Benton. Well, each had 3 hits last night, and left fielder Randall Devine had 4 hits as Iowa stayed in front of Louisville with a 12-7 win over Wichita.
Craig Lefferts, a very fine left-hander on the mound.
You keep hearing about him.
Yes, sir. He got a good arm. Saw him in spring training.
From Midland that you keep seeing in those minor league notes. Carmelo Martinez went 3 for 5 last night.
He's having a great year. Well, you'll find out that the Cubs farm system within a year or 2 will start blooming, and you're going to find some very fine, good young ball players coming up to the major leagues.
Well, Gordon Goldsberry in charge of that farm system. They've added some people. They've added... You just don't know what a little extra help here and there will do when you see the result. A lot of our clubs are right up in there fighting for pennants. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Junior. He sacrificed in the first inning. He struck out swinging in the second. We're 3 and 3 with the Mets here at home. 3 and 5 with them on the year. Next weekend, we got a long weekend. 5 games at Shea, including a Sunday doubleheader. And just in case your pocket schedule doesn't have the Thursday game on it, that was added. We will televise every one of those games. The only game we'll miss on the trip next weekend, I believe, is Monday night at Montreal. But then Tuesday and Wednesday for Montreal, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday from New York. And to show you where we're going on this season, when we leave here Sunday to go to Montreal, only 50 games left.
50 games. 2
balls, 2 strikes. Speaking of the minor leagues again, our number 1 draft choice, Sean Dunston, had 2 more hits for Sarasota. 2 and 2. Oh, I'm anxious to see that kid.
Yeah, he's something to watch, I guess.
I don't know where he'll end up, but boy, with his ability, you're going to have to find a place. High pop off to the right side. Kingman over. Kingman there. So Kennedy has popped to start the bottom of the 5th. Bill Buckner 1 for 2 today. Had a base hit in the 3rd inning.
for 35 against them with 9 runs batted in and 2 of his homers against them.
I thought he had another homer the first time at bat.
Oh, I did too.
He hit that ball as hard as he has hit any ball.
Pulls it a little bit. It is out of here. 1 ball and no strikes. Hodges getting on Palaio about getting up on top. He just is not happy with his delivery. Second baseman will have to backhand, straighten up, and throw, and he does. So Wally Backman stayed right with that one.
Yeah, the proper way to make that play. It's very difficult to make that play by getting in front of the ball. You just keep your eye on that ball and put that glove down next to the ground and just follow it all the way into the glove.
And here it is. Show it to him.
Here is the play right there. He has time enough to straighten up and get something on the ball. If he tries to field that ball with both hands, he's apt to lose his balance and fall.
Durham, by going 0 for 2 today, has dropped down to 306, but still very much in the chase. He's popped to the shortstop, and he's lined hard to the left fielder, Foster. The Bull is 3 for 10. He got us out in front in the Sunday game at Philly. We won it. Got us out in front again with a homer on Tuesday here. Minnesota leads California 3-1. They played 2.5. Washington hit a 3-run homer off Luis Tiant. It is not the Mexican League, Louis. It's the big leagues. 0-2 to the Bull as he bats with nobody on and 2 away. Cubs fell behind 1-0 in the top of the first. Quickly tied it in the second when Boa got Moreland, the pinch runner, home. Then Johnstone's 2-run homer in the third. American Legion Post 66 from Griffith, Indiana, with a group out here today. And 26 altar boys from St. John Newman Parish in St. Charles, Illinois. Father Dan Humer bringing that group. Looks like an easy inning here. Left fielder takes care of Durham for the second straight time. And 3 up and 3 down for Palaio. We played 5. The Cubs still lead by 2.
Look out. Raquel Welch is hosting Saturday night.
There are a lot worse things that could happen.
It's gonna be an outrageous evening of fun.
This is not my idea.
Plus, music by Phoebe Snow and John Sebastian. There's gonna be a whole lot of shaking going on.
I like it. I mean, I really do. I really like it. It's Saturday night.
Tonight at 10:30 here on Channel 9.
We'll move to the 6th inning here now. Yeah, Arnie's been looking around for some of those. And as we go to the 6th, Randy Martz, who's been really putting them up and down here. Arnie says that's a good kid shot right there. That's a Baccabrella.
Yes, it is.
Baccabrella. Well, Palaio's going to bat for himself here. A little surprise, huh?
Yes, this is the 6th inning coming up, and we're trailing by 2.
Remember over the weekend when we were in Philly, we kept waiting to see what was going to happen with Gary Maddox. They finally made a move on him today. Palaio sends a high fly ball to Henderson. Lots of time, just wait and squeeze, and it's 1 away. The Phillies just activated Gary Maddox and sent Lenny Matusik, utility infielder, back to Oklahoma City. So that kind of takes care of some things that were going around about maybe Sparky Lyle being let go. Do you know he got hurt today?
Yes.
Took a line drive that had to take him to the hospital. It's preteen Indiana here today. Jody Wagner. Grandma brought her to the game. Yes, sir. You might as well spend an afternoon right here. Watch the Cubs play ball in the daytime at Wrigley Field. Big group from the Athletic Journal out today. Elmer must have given him the day off. Got to do some research out here, take pictures, do a baseball article. A ball and a strike.
into the seats. Mookie Wilson 0 for 2. The only New York hit belongs to Ron Hodges, and he got it in the second inning. And it was a clean hit. If you're wondering if there's any thinking down the line, it was clearly a base hit. 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Randy Martz has pitched into the 6th, and he's leading 3-1. 2-2. Oh, good heat upstairs.
Yes, indeed. See that fastball right past Wilson.
That number 1, Lou?
That is number 1. He's making them hit the ball. He's keeping ahead of the hitters, which has been successful now. That's the 13th consecutive Met to go down in front of Martz.
This is Bachman. You're watching the Cubs and the Mets. I'm Milo Hamilton along with Lou Boudreau, and it's all on WGN, Television 9 in Chicago, America's #1 sports station, where you'll see the news tonight with Mr. Anchor in Chicago, John Drury, and his group, who's Denise Cannon. Bill Frink with the sports, and Tom Skilling is back from Canada from another northern vacation. Boy, he loves to go to Canada and Alaska. I'm going to start calling him Chili Skilling. Nice to have Tom back. Here's the 1-1. Shows bunt and bunts it. Right back to the mound. Randy will let her go, and it's 3 up and 3 down. Randy Martz made a sensational play on Bachman in the first inning.
He did.
Bachman's beginning to wonder what he's got to do. So 3 up and 3 down. The last man to reach was Hodges with a single in the second. Martz still has the 3-1 lead. Into the bottom of the 6th, Moreland will be leading it off. He came on to run for Davis in the second and stayed in the game. Moreland will be batting for the second time in the third. He popped up to the first baseman. The Aurora boys baseball, the Aurora Police Majors, 11 and 12-year-olds. Gary Marthin made it possible for the young men to come out. Lee Pelty tells us that Gene Gattoni celebrating a birthday here. Charlie Puleo working to Moreland. Looks at ball 1. The Laramie Park Sports Camp at the Skokie Park District out here today with their moms and dads. Thanks to Michael Berkowitz, the counselor, arranged for that trip. Boy, a lot of youngsters out here for that road uniform T-shirt here today. There's a shot to short. Gardenhire on to Kingman. Moreland is out, and it's 1 away in the 6th inning. Bring up Johnstone, who broke the tie with his 6th homer of the year in the 3rd inning with Buckner aboard, and he'll get a nice greeting here. Understand that they're watching us on cable out in Carrollton, Montana. Joel and Deb Bridges. Well, there's one we hadn't heard from before.
Montana?
Ray Floyd is the early PGA leader. Yosh will be jumping up and down in the clubhouse. Floyd 7 under. Nicholas came in 4 over. So Ray Floyd, one of our great Cub fans, is in front in the PGA 7 under. Nicholas came in 4 over, huh? One ball, 2 strikes. Nobody on, 1 away. Cubs about hit them 5-1. And lead in the score 3-1. Bounced a breaking ball up there. 2-2 to the Jaybird, and Henderson will be next. When the Phillies come in tomorrow, it'll be Alan Ripley against Ruthven. Saturday, Knowles and Christensen. Sunday, Doug Bird, who pitched that masterful 3-hitter here a couple days ago, will draw Mike Krukow. Krukow will be going for number 12.
It'll be a great series.
We get the same kind of pitching we got at Philly and put a little hitting around it, we'll give the Phillies some trouble here over the weekend.
We're hitting the ball much better. That's Ken Kravik loosening up in the Cubs bullpen.
Do a payoff on Johnstone, and it's up high, and he walks for the 2nd time today. That is the 3rd walk issued by the the New York Met right-hander. And it'll bring up Steve Henderson, who has struck out and flied to left. Henderson was called out on strikes in that second inning on appeal. I thought we were going to get somebody thrown out of here.
I did too. I thought it was a tough call against Henderson.
One ball, no strikes. Runner first, one out. Moa will be next. Randy Martz. Really didn't throw that badly the first time coming off the disabled list. Throwing very well today.
Oh, today he's been super.
One ball and no strikes. Minnesota leading California 3-1 at the end of 3. Montreal unloaded 18 hits today and beat the Phillies 9-2. That's a strike. Well, the Expos took out 3 nights of frustration on Philadelphia today. Losing 3 one-run games.
Yeah,
and they hammered them today.
I don't think Philadelphia minded much.
No, you take
Winning
3 out of 4.
That's right.
And stay in front. 1 ball, 1 strike. There goes Johnstone, and with the run and hit, Hindu trying to hit behind him, but just couldn't get around. Fouled it up to the right side. Remember the news tonight at 9? 1 hour of primetime news at 9 on Channel 9 in Chicago. John Drury and the folks are getting in there now, getting ready to put that all together. And, of course, there'll be highlights of this game when Bill Frink brings you the sports. 1 and 2. Smash to third. That's another double play ball, and they get it. That's their second in this game and their 86th of the year. Boy, they've gone around that horn, and I thought they were going to once earlier today instead of coming to the plate.
Well, I did too. I think he would have completed the double play had he gone to second base.
No runs, no hits, no errors, a walk, a double play. We've played through 6 innings, and so far so good as the Cubs try to take the series. The Cubs are in front of the Mets in this ball game by a score of 3-1.
Second prize, 1,000 Mattellan televisions, TV not included. To play, fill the scoreboard with a single, double, or home run game piece.
I won!
Game cards and specially marked boxes of alphabets, honeycomb, super sugar, truth box, heaven cereal. All right, post game card request box 7267, Glen, Nebraska 68009. Leave old.
Caray and Milo Hamilton back at the ballpark. Ellis Valentine will be leading it off. Valentine, who's nothing out of 2 so far. Here's the pitch by Randy Martz. High fly ball. Durham is right in front of us waiting for it, and he takes it. 15 in a row retired. Steve Booter from Minot, North Dakota here. And Missy Conley celebrating her 23rd birthday. Has been a Cub fan for many, many years. 1 out, nobody on. Here's Dave Kingman. There's a drive. Look out, deep left field. Henderson is there, and he has. Boy, Kingman hit a sinking line drive, thank goodness. If he'd have gotten under that, it'd still be going. 4 over the wall. That's 16 in a row retired by Randy Martz. This is undoubtedly his greatest string of consecutive outs in the major league for him. 16 men in a row retired. Here's Foster, and it's a little bit low. Well, we're going to have a chance to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" in the bleachers. Here's a pitch foul off. And the count is evened up, a ball and a strike. 3-1 in favor of the Cubs on Jay Johnstone's homer with a man on. The pitch. Bouncing ball, deep shot, long throw. He got him! Great play. 17 in a row. Larry Boa threw him out from deep shot. We go to the bottom of the 7. The score. Cubs 3, Mets 1. Wait a minute. Hold on now. I came out here in the bleachers so we could all sing together, all right? All right, now, a 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever go back. Oh, it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. But it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
The Libertyville School of Folk and Old-Time Music will host a festival August 7th and 8th from 10 a.m. in the morning until 5:30 at the David Adler Cultural Center in Libertyville. Call 367-0707.
Caray back in the center field bleachers. Larry Boa has played an outstanding game at shortstop. And now looking for his second hit of the game. But a nice play by Backman retires him. Boa drove in a run on the second inning, and he has sparkled the field. Backman made a good play to his right to retire him. Boa's handled 1, 2, 3 chances. They were very tough. 1 out, nobody on. Here's Randy Martz getting a good hand. Fly ball, deep center. Hey, Mookie Wilson had trouble, but made the catch. He had a little trouble figuring out which way to turn on that, but he made it all right. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Ryne Sandberg. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 out. The score 3-1 in favor of the Cubs. We're in the bottom of the 7th. There's a curve in there. Randy Martz has retired 17 men in a row. There's a pitch fouled off. The last base runner for the Mets was Ron Hodges, who singled in the second.
How long has this guy been with the Mets? Too long. How long has this guy been with the Mets?
There's the pitch inside. 2 men are out. Sandberg, the batter. He's 0 for 2 today. Sandberg hitting .263 for the season. There's Charlie Palaio out of Bradenton, Florida now. There's a ground ball up the middle of the base hit. Sandberg singles to center. Get up for Sandberg. That's his 110th hit. There are only 2 men who have more. Butler with 121 and Durham with 113. He's 3rd on the club in total hits with 110. When you figure that he started out 0 for 20 and 1 out of 38, you can appreciate it. Junior Kennedy, the batter, 2 out. Sandberg hitting .264 now for the year. He wants to talk to John Vukovich, the first base coach. Sandberg, a handsome young man, just 22 years old. He's going to be around a long time. Yeah. Neil Allen has started to work for the Mets, their star relief pitcher. Neil Allen, a right-hander. They throw to first. Sandberg is back. Randy Marsh really gives it a dramatic flourish over there. On a routine call. Again, they throw over there, and he's back. Sandberg calls time. He wants to pull himself together. 2 men are out. A runner at first. Junior Kennedy, the batter. The skies have darkened again. Again, they throw over there. Looking ahead to the eighth will be Hodges, Brooks, and Garnire. So the Mets like to make a few more runs. There he goes. Here's a peg. Stolen base. Sandberg just stole number 22.
All right, let's take a look as he gets his 22nd stolen base of the year. And his 8th in a row. They haven't thrown him out in his last 8 attempts, and this one wasn't close either. Boy, I tell you, he just took a little peek, and he was gone.
He has that knack of accelerating with the very first step at top speed. Now Junior Kennedy has a man to drive in if he can get a base hit. Paleo getting set. Big run to pick up. Swung and he missed. 2 balls and a strike. Junior Kennedy batting .236. Minnesota giving the Angels a fifth. Louis Tiant is supposed to pitch that game for California.
Yeah, he's gone. Keeson went in.
And the Angels are losing 4-1 in the bottom of the 4th.
Washington hit a 3-run homer. That was the big blow in the 3rd.
Kennedy with a count of 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Minnesota 4, California 1.
There's a little dribbler. That'll be an easy out. There's a flip over to the pitcher covering for the out. Kennedy. No runs. 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 7, the Cubs 3, the Mets 1.
From New York City, the fashion capital of the world, see the most beautiful girls in the world compete in The Face of the 80s 1982 with your host, Lee Majors, and his guests, Christy Brinkley, Cheryl Teaves, Irene Cara, Andy Gibb, the top fashion designers, and 22 gorgeous girls from 22 different countries, all in the selection for the most beautiful face of 1982. Watch The Face of the 80s.
Friday, August 27th at 7 p.m. on Channel 9.
Caray out in the center field bleachers. Can Randy Martz retire 6 more men in a row? Well, Ron Hodges is coming up. He has set down 17 straight. They haven't had but 2 base runners in this ballgame. Foster walked with 1 out in the 2nd, and Hodges singled. That's the last time a man reached. There's a strike call. Foster scored on a sacrifice fly. So he has faced the minimum for 7 innings would be 21. He's only faced 22. There's a high pop foul out of play. And he's ahead of Hodges, 2 strikes and nothing. Randy Martz leading 3-1.
Harry, you were wondering about his best. He had retired 9 in a row twice earlier this year, so he's way out in front of that.
I'm sure that this must be the longest streak of consecutive batters retired by Randy Martz in his history, because you look at both these minor league stats and his major league stats, he hasn't really had that much outstanding success. He's just coming into his own. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hodges has hit the ball hard twice against him. Once for a base hit, the only one he's allowed, and the other time a line drive to Durham. 2 2-2 pitch. He fouls it back. Larry Boa at shortstop. Junior Kennedy at second. Jesse Orozco, a left-hander, warming up for the Mets. 2-2 pitch. High pop foul back out of play. Randy Martz working on a masterpiece. He has permitted only 2 base runners. Ron Hodges. Opening up the 8th inning for the Mets. And now Martz's pitch. He fouls it off behind the Mets dugout on the first base side. Hodges hitting .500 for the year against the Cubs, 4 out of 8. Left-hand hitting catcher. There's a base hit. Hodges singles to center. He's hit the ball hard every time. He's had both hits off of Martz. And he had a good pitch, it looked like, too. Here's Brooks. There you see the stats on him, batting .251. Drove in their only run with a sacrifice fly in the second. Activity in the bullpen. Lee Smith now for the Cubs, along with Willie Hernandez. Oh, for a double play here. There you see the right-hander Smith, the left-hander Hernandez. Low, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. After retiring 17 in a row, Martz has just been touched for a base hit by Ron Hodges, who has both hits. Here's Billy Connors, the pitching coach, coming out. And Connors, who does such a great job with the Cub pitchers, as Doug Bird was so anxious to explain the other day. That's Keith Moreland, the catcher, the other man in the picture. As brilliantly as Martz has pitched, the tiny runners at the plate with nobody out. 3-1 Chicago. He had a cut, and he missed it. Brooks really swung for the downs that time. He hasn't had a homer this year. Runner at first, nobody out. The delivery by Martz. Ground ball to Boa, might be 2 out at second. And at first, double play. Boa starts a double play. Beautifully done. 6-4-3.
All right, just perfect. And he might have gotten away with a pitch right there. That was pretty well down the middle, but he bounced it right to Larry, on to Junior, and on to Billy Buck. As you look at it, if you're out in the bleachers, and some people are today, aren't they? 77th double play of the year for the Cubs.
Boy, you notice the way Larry Boa fed the ball to Kennedy. He got the ball to him. He had it out there where you could see it all the way. Here's Gordon.
Rusty
Staub batting for Gardenhire. Lifts a high pop fly to Boa. Rusty Staub batting for Gardenhire. Before we could even tell you about it, he had swung in the first pitch and popped out. And it's no runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 8th in one of the most brilliantly pitched games of the year by a Cub. The score, the Cubs 3, the Mets 1. Caray back at Wrigley Field in the center field bleachers. We need 3 outs here to end this game. A magnificently well-pitched game by Randy Martz. They'll have a pinch hitter coming out for Neil Allen. And then the top of the batting order. Martz has allowed only 2 hits, both by the same man, Ron Hodges. You wonder what the story of this game would have been had John Stearns started behind the plate as he has previously. He's an outstanding hitter himself and a fine catcher, and their number 1 catcher, but Hodges has gotten the only 2 hits.
Martz has only 1 complete game in the big leagues. It was last year.
Well, 3 more outs and he'll have 2.
Yes, he's really been strong.
Mike Jorgensen is the pinch hitter here for Neil Allen.
1 for 6 in the series and 2 for 10 against us this year.
As the Jorgensen, Wilson, and Backman. In 6 of the 8 innings so far, Martz has retired the side in order. He's fallen behind Jorgensen now. 3 balls, no strike.
Yeah, I think so.
Right down the middle of strike call.
He's allowed to run, but it's almost a copy of what Bird did here on Tuesday, Harry.
Yeah. 3 balls and a strike. Bouncing foul. Now he's up at 3-2 with them. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Big pitch. Hey, great play by Buckner, the pitcher covering for the out.
Amazing.
Holy cow, what a spectacular play by Bill Buckner.
Boy, look at this ball jump up on Buckner. It's hit hard. It's got that overspin. AstroTurf, natural grass, no matter. That ball jumped. Buckner stayed with it. Now he's got time to look for Martz.
And give Martz credit for getting there in a hurry. 1 out.
Yeah, there he is.
Here now is Wilson. Mookie Wilson, the batter. He's 0 for 3. What a beautifully pitched ball game by Martz.
The only better one on hit total was Knowles' 1-hitter on the 28th of April against the Reds right here when he beat Seaver 6-0. That was a 1-hit shutout.
A perfect game is facing 27 batters. Martz has faced just 29. He gets the next 2 men, that is.
And what was it Bird faced, 31?
Yeah.
Oh, that's 2 good jobs in a series.
As a matter of fact, I don't know whether it's the work of the coach Billy Connors, which takes time, you know, working with new pitchers. It seems to me the pitching of the Cubs has never been weak at any time this year. That it's been consistently much better than anybody anticipated it to be. Has been the inability to make as many runs as you would think this club would make that's hurt them. Hey, struck him out. Boy, oh boy. 2 men are gone. He's trying to make it 7 out of the 9 innings in which he will have faced only 3 men. He had a string of 17 in a row retired. Here it is. Cubs win. Backman bounced to Junior Kennedy. And Randy Martz being congratulated. A magnificent game. He faced only 29. He won his 5th game of the year. We'll be back with the totals in a moment.
Now Zenith's portable video package for $14.99. You get camera, tuner, timer, recorder, and wireless remote control. See your Zenith dealer.
High pump foul out of play. Neil Allen, the right-handed relief ace, along with Jesse Orozco, a left-hander, in the bullpen for the Mets. But their start of the 8th inning with a single to right. Leon Durham tripled the left center, driving him in. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Moreland. Palaio's pitch. Base hit on the first baseline. The run is in. And Moreland has driven in the run. That makes it 5-1.
Well, I tell you, he had to hit it sharply because Kingman was playing right there. Took a half a step, but it was time. And Bamberger, as you see Durham score, has come to the mound. And Moreland gets in another big run.
That's his 54th run batted, and Neil Allen coming in relief for the New York Mets. The score, 5-1 in favor of the Cubs. The Cubs have had 9 hits, good for 5 runs.
Well, with all the extracurricular today, these fellas did some yeoman extra work. Jim Pasma, we want to thank these fellas for jumping right on the assignment. John Breister on video. John Nitz, the TD. Roy Cohn and Kermit Carlson. You knew Roy would be out there taping things together. Willie Sneed and Robert Jenner. Messrs. Brennicky and Moselle. Don Hall on camera. George Kapoulis is another Greek with a name ending in S.
Michael.
Nancy Burns with the usual great job on electronic graphics.
Watch out.
All the guys and gal, I think, Nancy, huh?
Also, we appreciate Mike Lavacari, who's up in the booth with Milo, enabling Joe Carneiro to come out here to the bleachers with me. Here's Jay Johnstone, one of the heroes. A runner at first, nobody out. Moreland nudged a ground ball past Dave Kingman for a base hit, driving in the rock. 3 hits in a row in this inning. Palaio allowed a total of 9 for 5 runs. Johnstone takes it low.
Stays the way it is. His homer would be the winning RBI.
Neil Allen was 1-3 and saved 18. Lost 6. There's a high drive, deep center, going to be caught. Mookie Wilson has it. Johnstone fly deep to Wilson. That's 1 gone now. At the end of 4 out in Anaheim, the Minnesota Twins 4, the Angels 1. The Angels beat the Twins 8-6 last night on Brian Downing's homer with a man on the bottom of the 8th. The Twins had beaten them. Steve Henderson, the batter. Ball 3 now. I bet Calvin Griffith is laughing up his sleeve. But the Twins win 3 out of 4 from the wealthy Angel. There's a strikeout. It's amazing how that Twins organization keeps coming up with good hitters, though.
You know something, Harry? As funny as that might seem, I bet you could almost take 3 Angels
and it would equal the Minnesota Twin payroll.
Yeah. There's a foul ball back. Let's see, the Twins can't have hardly anybody except maybe Ron Davis, who makes more than the minimum. Hatcher, I guess. They got all rookies or fringe players.
Well, if he even blew it out of proportion and said they all made $100,000, that'd only be $2.5 million.
Here's a base hit to left field. Moreland on his way to third. Henderson focus, ground single to left.
All right, here it is. Runner was going. And a perfect run and hit. Look at that vacated spot. The shortstop had gone over to cover. Henderson hit it right through there. And Moreland, of course, gets around to third easily.
Bob Baylor is playing shortstop, having replaced Gardenhire. Staub pinch hitting for Gardenhire to end the eighth. Here's Boa. Curve in there, a strike call. We've had 4 hits in this inning. 2 runs have scored. Runners at first and third with 1 out. Larry Boa, the hitter. There's a curve strike. He struck him out. Boa is out swinging. That's 2 gone. That brings up Randy Martz. He deserves a big hand. Martz has a walk and a hit. Right out deep another time. 1 ball, no strikes. Ball 2. Martz a good hitting pitcher. Batting .250 going into the game with 5 out of 20. 6 runs batted in. He's now 6 out of 22 as a batter. Bouncing ball to the shortstop. Baylor flips for the out. So it's 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 2 left. At the end of 8, it's the Cubs 5, the Mets 1. Back at Wrigley Field in the center field bleachers. We need 3 outs here to end this game. A magnificently well-pitched game by Randy Martz. They'll have a pinch hitter coming out for Neil Allen. And then the top of the batting order. Martz has allowed only 2 hits, both by the same man, Ron Hodges. You wonder what the story of this game would have been had John Stearns started behind the plate as he has previously. He's an outstanding hitter himself and a fine catcher, and their number 1 catcher, but Hodges has gotten the only 2 hits.
Martz has only 1 complete game in the big leagues. It was last year.
Well, 3 more outs and he'll have 2.
Yes, he's really been strong.
Mike Jorgensen is the pinch hitter here for Neil Allen.
1 for 6 in the series and 2 for 10 against us this year.
It'll be Jorgensen, Wilson, and Backman. In 6 of the 8 innings so far, Martz has retired the side in order. He's fallen behind Jorgensen now. 3 balls, no strike.
Yeah, I think so.
Right down the middle of strike call.
He's allowed to run, but it's almost a copy of what Bird did here on Tuesday, Harry.
Yeah. 3 balls and a strike. Bouncing foul. Now he's up at 3-2 with them. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Big pitch. Hey, great play by Buckner. The pitcher covering for the out.
Amazing.
Holy cow, what a spectacular play by Bill Buckner.
Boy, look at this ball jump up on Buckner. It's hit hard. It's got that overspin. AstroTurf, natural grass, no matter. That ball jumped. Buckner stayed with it. Now he's got time to look for Martz.
And give Martz credit for getting there in a hurry. 1 out.
Yeah, there he is.
Here now is Wilson. Mookie Wilson, the batter. He's 0 for 3. What a beautifully pitched ball game by Martz.
The only better one on hit total was Knowles' one-hitter on the 28th of April against the Reds right here when he beat Seaver 6-0. That was a one-hit shutout.
A perfect game is facing 27 batters. Martz has faced just 29. If he gets the next 2 men, that is.
And what was it Bird faced, 31?
Yeah.
Oh, that's 2 good jabs in a series.
As a matter of fact, I don't know whether it's the work of the coach Billy Connors, which takes time, you know, working with new pitchers. It seems to me the pitching of the Cubs has never been weak at any time this year. That it's been consistently much better than anybody anticipated it to be. It's has been the inability to make as many runs as you would think this club would make that's hurt them. Hey! Struck him out. Boy, oh boy. 2 men are gone. He's trying to make it 7 out of the 9 innings in which he will have faced only 3 men. He had a string of 17 in a row retired. Here it is. Cubs win. Backman bounced to Junior Kennedy. And Randy Martz being congratulated. A magnificent game. He faced only 29. He won his 5th game of the year. We'll be back with the totals in a moment.
Now Zenith's portable video package for $14.99. You get camera, tuner, timer, recorder, and wireless remote control. See your Zenith dealer.
Caray and Milo Hamilton back at Wrigley Field. Boy, this is about as well-pitched game as we have had in a long, long time. The Mets did make 1 run, but they made only 2 hits. Only 29 men faced Randy Martz. 27 would be perfection. 1 man got the only hits. Ron Hodges got both of them, and the only other base runner was Foster on a walk. You know, it's pretty hard to make comparisons about great games, Milo, but this one would have to go right in among them.
Well, saying when you get 2 of these kind in one series, because Bird pitched a whale of a game here on Tuesday, that pitching, you go back to that series when we went to Philadelphia last weekend, Harry, you've got to really look hard to find when this pitching really wasn't outstanding.
All right, here are the totals before Milo takes over. 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Cubs. The winner, Randy Martz, was tied his previous highest total of victories in the major leagues. He now has a record of 5-7. For the Mets, 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. Charlie Paleo was the loser. He is now 8-8. Harry Caray out in the center field bleachers. Milo will be back with you now with a wrap-up in just a moment. We'll see you later. So long, everybody.
Our next televised game will be between the Philadelphia Phillies and our Chicago Cubs tomorrow. Our telecast begins with the leadoff man at 1:15. Our participating advertisers in today's Cub victory were Miller High Life. If you've got the time, they've got the beer. True Value Hardware Stores. True Value, more than just a name, it's their way of doing business. Union 76 and your neighborhood Union 76 dealer to invite you to go with the spirit of 76. Canon, so advanced, Canon is the world's leader in 35mm photography. Toyota Motor Sales and your Toyota dealers, who remind you that it's a good feeling to buckle up for safety. Zenith and your Zenith dealers. At Zenith, the quality goes in before the name goes on. United Airlines. People who fly for a living choose United. And by the Association of Chicagoland McDonald Restaurants. You deserve a break today. Executive Producer, Director, Arnie Harris. Assistant Director, Joe Corneo. Sports Editor, Jack Rosenberg. The Cubs will be ready for the Phillies tomorrow. And for Harry Caray and Lou Boudreau, I'm Milo Hamilton. This has been another WGN Television 9 Sports presentation.